Hi, my name is Susan Cook. I'm the Program Manager for Interpretation, Education, and Volunteers at Niobrara National Scenic River in Valentine, Nebraska. I'm coming to you today from one of our garage bays with a trailer with a 7-foot eagle's nest on it. So we're going to talk about why the eagle is so important. The Niobrara National Scenic River Valley is so unique, and it has many different species of animals and plants along it. That's one of the reasons that it is one of the special places around and why it has a national designation. One of the animals that we have along here is the bald eagle. So this is its nest. This nest is 7 foot wide in diameter, and if you could see the bottom, you could see that it's anywhere from 3 to 7 foot deep. So bald eagles like to build their nests near the top of a tree. As you can see in this one, you can see the big branches that are supporting it. It's built into a V, so it is a master feat of engineering. These birds are amazing engineers. So you can see the big branches, but if you look close, you can see how they have just intertwined and worked together all of these branches. So they would start with a small one, and then they'd start building the bed and start just crossing them together, and you can see they just intertwine in multiple areas, all of these things. It's just amazing to look at how they built this, and the entire nest is built that way. So they're master engineers. So this nest, as big as it is, it weighs hundreds of pounds up to 1,000 pounds, a ton. So it is living in the top of a tree, because that's where they prefer to live. So this nest has gone through blizzards and thunderstorms, wind and rain, and it's survived. This one actually fell with the tree in a storm, and it's still in shape. We can find very little that ever was wrong with it from falling. It's built that well. So what's really fun about this is looking at what's inside. So this is their house. This is their living room. So this area is what they would be living in. You would have both parents of the mom and dad eagle. You might have a juvenile eagle, and you might have chicks in here, but they would all be living in here. So the other thing is, you can see it looks like dirt inside here. Well, there is some dirt. There's also some tree branches, and this is also where they would be living and eating. So this is the dining room, and we know that because right here you can see some leg bones, and at the different layers you can see other bones. So where that tree branch came through, that's one of them that broke off, but it was built close around it, we can kind of see along down inside it, and you can see layer after layer of them building up this bottom part of the nest where they're living, and you can see different bones sticking up throughout the whole thing. So we talked about this being the dining room. And we know they're eating ducks because we found multiple duck skulls on it. There's one sticking out the side over here. There's some other ones. And at the bottom of where this tree fell on the ground, there was a pile of duck skulls. So that leads us to, this tree was up high in the air. And did you know that an eagle can see 3 miles? So they like to sit up high and they like to survey. This nest came from prime eagle territory and habitat, because what they like is the grasslands, because they like to eat rabbits and small rodents, but they really like to eat ducks, and we know that because of all the duck skulls we found throughout this nest. And so this one is also near a lake. So that's kind of what they like. So when they're eating these animals and ducks, is it neat and tidy and clean? You're right, no, it's not. It's gross and messy. But that becomes part of this bedding. And so then they just add more grasses on, and it just becomes more dirt-like. So this also happens to be their bathroom. So you have that mixed in here too. So this is a very interesting concoction of things that they're living within. So what's really fun that we've had with this eagle's nest is it's a great treasure hunt, because we've been looking at it and finding so many cool things. Now I have a pointer that was not part of this nest, but I'm going to point out a few things. You have feathers from the eagle here. You can see bones right here. If you look down on the sides, You see bones. In fact, there's one bone that actually is the full leg bone of an animal with a hip socket still attached to it. There's other leg bones. There's some duck skulls, all sorts of things. There's even some things that aren't from nature. There's a blue string in here that doesn't come out. It's stuck. It's just there. So you can start looking through here. There's black feathers. There's white feathers on the side. So it's really fun to just start looking at all the different layers and all the different levels of things and really look at how they put these branches together. They intertwined them, they hooked them onto each other. They used V's in nests to like hook things together and then hook them on the other end too. As they intertwined them through other branches, it's amazing the feat of engineering that these birds were doing. Now I mentioned this one is 7 foot wide, but it's 3 to 7 foot deep. Now when we compare that to a robin's nest, this is how big the robin's nest is. And you can see our little robin's nest does have one egg in it. But this is huge. And these birds are very large. So when you're looking up in the sky, when you're traveling, look up at the trees. It's pretty hard to miss a nest this big, but also look in the sky for the birds that are flying. And there are many different large birds around our area, but you'll always know if it's the bald eagle because when they fly, their wings are straight across at the top. So they're very straight line. Other birds are, angled. But anyway, when you're out driving around, look for the eagle's nest and then come visit us at Niobrara National Scenic River and see what you can find here.